Okay, this video is to show you how to replace a fuel rail sensor, pressure sensor on a Volvo C30 2007 model. So this is the model right here, and what I'm doing here is just plugging a diagnostic machine just to show the error code that's been showing up on my friend's car. It's cooled down, preferably cold, so that not too much pressure is built up in there. And make sure you have a lot of cloths, plenty of cloths to make to capture those fuel that will come out. Unfortunately, there's no avoiding that, so you're just gonna have to minimize the fuel that comes out. Okay, and that's how you do that. And when you replace the sensor, as soon as you take it out, make sure the other sensor is ready to pop in. So once you've made the necessary preparation there, get a cloth underneath that, the engine is cool, then you're ready to release the pressure by pressing the valve, and you can use that with the flat head small screw. On this one, it appears that there's not much pressure built up in there, and that's probably the cause of the sensor not regulating that. So luckily enough, there's not much fuel coming out of this end, but there's going to be definitely fuel coming out the other end, but it won't be with such pressure anymore, which is good. So just press that until you see that there's not much pressure left in there. So now it's time to remove the old sensor, and again you need a T25 Torx for this. Don't need much force in this. It is tight, but it's not that tight that you need a bigger tool than what I'm showing you here. Okay, that's already loose. Yeah, remove the connector. Again, that's just a tab, as you can see there. Just lift that up. Takes a bit of wiggling to remove. It comes off like that. Just tuck it in out of the way. Again, making sure you've got your cloth underneath that. Put some more kitchen roll towel in there. You can just undo the bolt with your hand when it's loose like this. And as soon as I pull that out, the new part needs to be ready to go in. And there's a Bosch part there. I've already lubricated it with fully synthetic oil around the ring. And so just get that ready. As soon as you pull off the other one, we're going to insert the new one in as quickly as possible, just to avoid the amount of fuel coming out. You can see what I mean when I remove this. Again, wiggle it. You can see all the fuel there already coming out. Pop the new one back in there. Stops the leak. Yeah, just make sure you just line up the hole again for the bolt to go back in. And tighten that up. Okay, and now just use your Torx to tighten that. Pop your connector in and just see how much fuel came out of there. Just wipe up any fuel that you see on that part of the manifold there. See this tape here, I'm not sure why it was there, but I'm gonna tuck that in anyway. Just tidy it up a little bit. Just clean up the connector if you see it a little bit dirty. Pop it back in, and that's the job done. So next thing we do now is put the cap back on to the valve, and we start putting the cover back together, the air flow. So just putting the cover back in reverse order. As you can see here, just pop that in there. Make sure it's nicely lined up. This part. And then once it's all lined up, it's time to put the bolts back on. Okay, put 2 bolts at the back first. Second one in. These are 8mm bolts, by the way, so you know. And just do those nice and tight. Okay, now we do the front bolts. Again, they're all 8mm sizes. There you go. Same thing again. Tighten those up. Use your hands, and then obviously use the wrench after. Then lastly, the two bolts, T30 bolts, that goes and secures that cover at the top just by the oil there. And again, tighten those two up, and that's your job done. Everything in place and secured, and put back, all done. Okay, and the last thing we have to do now is clear the error code from the engine management system to let it know that that sensor has now been replaced using the diagnostic tool. This is just a basic diagnostic tool that you can buy online. It's not a fancy one, but it does the job. You see, I've cleared it, and I've run it again, and now it says no errors. So it's been cleared. That's that. We run the engine, build up the pressure, and job done. Job done. Thanks for watching. Hope this helps. And